you're never going to be the perfect trader that you want to be. You're never not going to make mistakes. You're always going to have some emotion. You're always going to wish you held longer or wish you bought sooner.
But now looking at each and every one of you, I can see like exactly your playing style. Like we all developed our own niche of playing. So yeah, it's amazing.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Next Gen Traders YouTube channel. As you can see, we have 5 of us here on an episode today. It's been a long time since you've seen Sam, and Xander. But yeah, we got a lot of good content coming out in this one today. We've got a lot to talk about. A lot of us are making a lot of big changes in our trading and have been seeing a lot of progress as of lately. We're going to go through the markets, have a bit of open discussion, and talk about how our weeks are going, as well as go over a couple trades from this week. And then, Xander will take us out with the outro at the end. So first, we are going to talk about each how our week is going. We'll go through a little bit of a round table. Then we'll get into our trades, and then we'll get an open discussion after that. So start us off. Whoever's going first, I think that's Xander.
Yep. So my week was amazing. I had like my top 2 biggest trade ever, and that's coming with sizing up. And the week previously, I took, I think, my biggest loss ever, which isn't really that big. But I'm like for the first time ever, I've been profitable for like 5 weeks in a row. And we'll talk about it later, but like I've changed a lot, just simplifying the process. And this week has just been a continuation of the profitability. So it's been amazing.
Yeah, without a doubt. Same for me. This last week was really good. I missed I think one day I didn't trade just because it was a really slow day, but I've really kind of refined a lot of my process, like Xander was saying, even a couple like really good breakthroughs in the last couple days. So it's been a really good mental week for me, really good weekend for me. We're Sunday night, we're recording this. So overall, it's been a really good week. I'm really pumped, incredibly excited for Monday morning. Whew. So excited. So
nice. So for me, this week was okay. I think I took just one trade, but I learned a ton. Because I had a bootcamp with Dom and Hari, so I learned a lot from them. That I missed a lot of trades, and I'll go over them later. But the thing is, just from each of them I learned again, and I'm making changes for the next week definitely, and I'll talk about it also later.
Awesome.
Yeah. So me, it's been pretty good. I've just been grinding, studying, trying to refine like all my trades, because I've made some really bad ones and some all right ones. I'm trying to figure out and narrow out what I need to focus on. Pretty much just focus on multi-day breakouts for me. So playing RGBP, that's what I've been doing this week. It was a good week.
Gotcha. Yeah, for me, my week was okay at best. It definitely should have been way better. I started off the week right where I left off from last week. I started off really, really well, but as the week went on, I just got worse and worse, and found myself falling into some old habits. But I've taken some time to reiterate a lot of stuff over this weekend, get mentally prepared. And like I said, I started off this week good, but it just got worse as it went along. But now I'm ready to get back into the swing of things, and hopefully we get some more liquidity and volume in the markets as well. So
awesome.
That's all I got.
So I can talk about the listed markets first. So the sentiment that's been present for like the past 2 months is we get this big runner, we heat up really fast for a couple days, and then we just like one day we're like there's no gappers, like it completely dies. And that it's happened like 3 times in a row. Like a big runner, it heats up for a couple days, and then the next day for like a couple weeks, it's dead. And that's happened, 3 times. But this last time we had, DWAC, and that one like heated it up like a lot, because that was like one of the biggest runners we've had. Like it was one for the books, and that heated up for only like probably like a week and a half. It didn't even like the market should still be hot right now, but it's been all right. Like there have been opportunities, a lot of them actually. But it's just, you would think it was a lot more. So this week's especially, we pretty much, there's some days where there was no opportunity. Some days, there was opportunity, but, the gappers are kind of lacking. So I don't know. I hope the market heats up, but yeah, do you guys have anything else to add?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much that. You know, when DWAC happened and all of its sympathies, you know, FU or PH UN, I mean, all of that, when that ran, that really kind of adjusted the market, shifted it. And so ever since then, we've had a little bit more of a unique market, but over the last couple of days, it's definitely died down. So that kind of pattern that Xander was talking about, overall, I would say it's still a really good market, but it's definitely really kind of volatile. You know, one day it'll be everything's running, the next day there's like no volume. So I have noticed something with the listed market is that pre-market, everybody's been falling asleep, and then at market open, usually something happens, explodes, runs, books it, whatever. So a key for me this past like week or two has been, don't get lazy in the pre-market just because nothing's happening. You need to feel sharp, because at market open, there's probably going to be a trade opportunity that happens really fast. So,
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. I'll add one more thing. Obviously with DWAC and PHUN, that whole hot sector, every time we've had like a few hot stocks run in the past few months, we have thought that the market was going to heat up fully. But even then, after DWAC and PHUN, we were like, okay, the market's back fully. And as you said, Sam, the past few days have really dwindled down a little bit. And we're just hoping that this, you know, downtrend as whatever, even though the SPY is doing pretty well, this downtrend or whatever doesn't keep recurring the same pattern, and that we keep that volatility going along. So, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, for sure.
So for OTCs, I would say this week was better than the last week, even though last week I had like that one big trade, but still overall the week, this week was better because almost every day there was like an opportunity, but it was not very, but it was challenging to like find that one and just focus on that one. There were like a lot of them that looked promising in the morning, but then just fade off. So there were definitely like better than last week, yeah, but that's not what I expected for November, to be honest. Maybe just first week, you know, you can't just expect to change just because it's November, not October. So I hope it's gonna hit up for the middle of the November. So there were some nice runners. Sam, do you have anything to add?
I agree. Yeah, there, like you said, like there's a couple more runners, but it's still like it's like a market where you have to be careful. Like I'm walking through a jungle and I got like a tiger trying to kill me, and I've got a nice big river, you know, a good runner, and there's a big old snake that comes out of it. So it's like you have to be careful, and there's lots of fake outs, but there's some good opportunities to the long side, but it's not super easy yet. It's not a super hot market yet.
And also, I want to add that some of the plays I've worked at the moment, they seemed like nothing, but the setup was there. But you have to recognize that without like all the other indicators, because just the setup was there, just itself, just the big picture, not like the big picture setup, but just the overall setup was there. But if you focus on like little details like I did, you would just miss it. And then afterwards you would see, oh, of course that was the great entry. But just it's important to like be able to recognize it early enough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I like that comparison, Sam. Xander's going to go over his trades first. So let's get into that segment.
Oh yeah. So this date is October 1st, and that's kind of like seriously, October 1st was when everything clicked. Like a week before that, or a little bit sooner than that, I felt that everything clicked before, because the first sign that everything clicked was that I started watching price action, and I just started seeing things work and just how they worked. So I became not a setup person. So a lot of people think in terms of setups like, oh, I trade VWAP shorts. Oh, I trade first resistance. I started thinking, okay, I trade opportunity, I trade price action. And that just cleared things out for me. That like opened my mind, and I was able to, you know, trade opportunities instead of overthinking like what setup am I looking for? And because that really helped with my previous struggles. So ever since then, I've been at consistent uptrend. This is my gross P&L, and this is my like net. And even net, like there has been growth with the net, so that's awesome to see. But yeah, that's kind of like that progress. I'll get into some of my trades in a little bit, but you could see here, this is my November so far. So what's crazy is in the first week of November, I'm already up as much as I was all of October.
Nice.
And that's just from sizing up. And also I had a lot of bad habits in October and November so far. I haven't repeated any of those bad habits. And those were just chasing and stuff. But yeah, enough with the stats. My average profit factor, for those who want to know, is about 1.5 to 2 so far. So that I am profitable. It's pretty good, but I'm hoping to improve that with some upcoming adjustments. Here are my, let's go to the October 1st. All right, boom, boom, boom. All right, can you guys see my charts?
Yep.
I gotcha.
All right, so I'll just speed run some of these. I mean, I'll just flip through them and you guys can kind of see. This was like one of the first, like, oh my gosh, this is sick trading. As you can see, I wait for the confirmation for all the volume to get trapped overhead. I short the pop and I cover the wash. It's really simple once you just let all the longs get trapped, and it's super clear with this chart. And DATS, I shorted red to green. And just scaled in as we got closer to market open and covered the tank. This was on the dead cat bounce after it was pumped. And so those are really high probability setups. After a stock runs up a ton and it has that clear as day crack, it's just done for shred day. The next day has even more opportunity because there's so many people trapped overhead. That's where you'll see a lot of traders go all in, you know?
Yeah.
But as you can see here, this is one of my bad habits I had in October. I chased a lot. I totally missed the VWAP reject. I had orders out, but I just canceled them because I got scared. And that's one thing I don't do anymore. I don't cancel orders over fear because my original plan is usually always right compared to my emotional plan that I create mid-trade or like in the moment. So as you can see, you'll see that I chase a lot and I did not nail and bail. So nailing and bailing has really like allowed me to collect all the profits and not give back. As you can see, I gave back a lot of profits in October, and I also chased, and those were the two bad habits. These two entries were perfect, but then I chased lower. Originally, chasing here wouldn't be so bad, but as you can see up here, it has SSR. So you cannot chase short on SSR because SSR generally get bigger bounces and they're more trappy. So just don't trace on red flag on stocks with red flags. And then I also practiced my scaling, and you see I gave back gains here again. I practiced my scaling to the extreme here. A lot of bad habits, to be honest. But I'm just in October, I'm really finding out what kind of trader I want to be. Previous to October, I was too disciplined, so I wouldn't take trades. And I would just be too scared to take trades, and I wouldn't experiment. But October was the experimental month, and I was profitable. So I had bad habits and I was profitable. So my thought process coming into November is, if I don't have these bad habits and I stick to what I know, I'm going to be even more profitable. And so far that's true. Short view up here, really clean. And this one I was scaling to high a day. I nailed and bailed that one. This was probably the cleanest trade ever. I just scaled in and I saw on the tape that there was heavy selling. So I slammed in bigger size and it tanked right after. And then I covered for nail bail. Literally the cleanest trade ever. And you guys can see all these live on my YouTube channel. I upload all my live trades. CEI, again, this had a huge run up and then it had that tank. And so the day 2, 3, 4 after that tank is super high probability. There's so many longs trapped, you can size it on these setups. And that's what I did here. This was a VO short, practiced my scaling in. As you can see, I chased a lot, and that's a bad habit. Chasing can be good, but you need to have experience to chase to know when it's bad and when it's good. CRTD was an awesome trade. This was the day that DWAC and fun and everything was going like the euphoria was at all-time highs. But this is probably the best day ever for trading. I was super patient to wait for that clear trend break. So a lot of people in MIC and a lot of other shorts got chopped up here. Some hit their max loss. Some, they were just chopped up mentally. It takes your mental capital. And even after big confirmations, they got trapped. I waited for the trend break because there was so much range. When there's a lot of range, you could really be patient and you could wait for that very ideal entry. And that's what I did here. but I had to leave for school, so that's why I covered so quickly, or else I would have been able to maximize like Sam did. He might show you his chart later. But he maximized this because he was able to. Fun. This was a crazy trade. I was actually risking $100 on this trade just because, like I said, on the day 2 setups, yeah, on the day 2 setups, you can size in. So here I short the green to red break, cover the wash. It actually halted up. They triggered SSR and bounced it. Like I said, when SSR is on, the manipulators can manipulate it a lot easier. So they pop it. And as you can see, I was shorting into that pop. And what's absolutely insane is that me and Kyle Williams had the exact same chart. Like seriously, the entries and exits were identical, which is like absolutely, it's insane. But I played that really well, and I only lost $10 on this whole trade, even though I was risking 100. That's because I kind of had cushion from this first nice trade. But if this worked, it would have been my biggest trade ever. But I had kind of a tight stop. Some people got stopped, some people didn't. Fun. Scaled in. This is day 3. Like I said, days after the initial just crack from the big euphoric run, it's super high probability. So I was scaling in and I cover the wash. But I my new mindset or plan is on these day 2, 3, 4 on these big runs, you got to be super patient on your covers, because look at how much I left on the table, a massive amount, but still a great trade nonetheless. This is my worst trade of the career. Like I was like, what did I just do? It doesn't look that bad, I guess. It doesn't look that bad, I guess, but what I mean, again, this is day 3 or 4, but these stocks have so much range, you could short them for days after. So a lot of people nailed this, and they did because they scaled wide, but I was like too trigger happy. So I was just slamming the hotkeys. I was like, I'm in, because I thought it was gonna tank. My first entry there was good, but I shouldn't have gotten trigger happy. I should have planned to scale ahead, because then it would have made the trade profitable. So that's the worst trade ever. That was, I think, a fairly big loss, but it wasn't even that big. Like it's less than 1 R. So this you can see chasing at its finest. This day is when I made chasing an official rule that I cannot do for at least 2 weeks. I don't know what happened here. I was just chasing the lows because I thought it was going to continue down with no pops. It popped. I was going to cut it, but I'm going to cut it over this green line. But I should be shorting these pops. If I short these pops, I'm going to have a way better average, and I don't need to use as big of size. Like you don't need to use as big of size if you wait for the pops. So just be patient. And then scaling out here was pretty sick. I don't have commissions, so you guys are probably like, oh my gosh, you're spending so much on commissions. I don't have commissions. UAVS, this was a solid trade, but it just didn't work, and I got the chat room pumped in, I think. So that sucks. Or clean, BKKT, nice nail bill. AMC, this was a solid trade. I was scaling this time. See, I didn't size in all right here. I planned to scale wide, and then I nailed build, and it ripped. So that was an awesome trade. This was my top 2 biggest trade ever. Fun. This is, you've seen this ticker a lot that I've shown. It has still a lot of range, and when these stocks pop, you got to short the bounce. That's what I did. I scaled in, and then I added to my winner here and covered it. That was like one of the biggest trades. And then we have a nice nail bill on OCGN, and then APDN. My last trade was amazing. Should have been more patient and should have used bigger size. Those were all my trades. I'll talk more in open discussion probably with Sam, because we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
Great rundown.
Xander, did you just go over all your trades since the last episode?
Yeah, since October 1st.
October 1st? Okay.
Yeah. I traded every single day, I think. I didn't miss a day.
Damn, that's impressive. Awesome. Well, that's amazing. I'm gonna do pretty much the same. I'm just gonna go over all my trades and be really fast with it here. I'm gonna go ahead and start with this. So I made very similar changes to Xander. We both grown a lot. We're gonna talk more about what specifically that is in open discussion, but I'm just going to go through my charts because you're going to see a level of consistency that I'm really proud of. And we'll talk about why that is. And then there's a couple days that I want to point out as really specific, and they were my red days. So that's always the best. So BBIG, clean, waited for the move, waited for the pop up to intraday VWAP, covered, re-shorted support, and let it kind of fade a little bit. CIE or CEI, this is the same one that Xander, he showed a chart of this. I was able to kind of fade this one a little bit lower. I think what was that? This one you had to go to school with. So I was able to get a re-add after that stuff on VWAP. I wish it was a little bit higher, but was able to fade this down a little bit. What ticker was this? I can't remember what ticker this was, but this one was a little bit choppy. I chased a lot
on
down
the top
here.
left. Says.
Well, I cropped it.
No, on the picture.
CETX.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, CT. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So chased this one a little bit. This was some older trading. This was before I really adjusted my schedule. So this was early October. CRTD. This is what Xander was talking about. This was the day that DWAC and everything ran. I tried a morning trade on this. I cut it really fast. I was really, really proud of that cut because I acknowledged that there was a level of volume and speed that I did not want to be continuing to add to a loser on. So instead of adding, which I originally planned to do, I just stopped. I was going to let it play out, and then I stopped out. Then I was extremely patient, as Xander's chart was as well, waited for all of this crap to happen and just shorted once it really had like a double, triple confirmation. Covered on the first wash. I now wish I added at VWAP, but it was a scary day, so I wasn't pushing my luck. And then I really let this one kind of play for lower. So I was happy with how far I let this one go. CTDC, this one was really clean, really happy with this one. No emotion, straight line, straight process. Shorted some as it was messing around VWAP. It actually halted up and then shorted some at outer lines. It halted down. I covered right out of the halt and then covered at the next wash. You're going to see that a lot. Most of my charts I can get lower, but I take profits when they're there. So I am going to try to get a little bit more holds on my charts coming into the future. DATS, this one was a little bit of a choppy kind of mess around. This was again early December or early October, so not the cleanest. Stopped out. This one, yeah, this one I stopped out for again, early October. You can see first week, so not the cleanest. Like I said, I'm going fast. Okay, this is the day that I really wanted to pay attention to. I'll point out what days these were. This was the 20th and the 18th. This was a day, this day specifically, I was very, very tilted. There was stuff going on with my family. I did not sleep well that night. I was distracted pre-market. I was yelling at siblings, right? So I was just tilted this pre-market, and I knew that I shouldn't trade, but I didn't want to miss out on opportunities. So you see the emotion everywhere in this chart. I stopped out right here, and then I re-shorted because there was a thesis, but it wasn't valid. And then I stopped out at high day. So there's just emotion all over this. So don't trade when you're tilted. If you're having an off day, acknowledge it and just freaking step away from the charts. You know, like it's better than losing money.
Yo, Sam.
Yeah.
You see that high day clear out, bro? That's clean.
Without
We
a doubt.
learned, yeah, high day clear outs, guys, pay attention to them because after they clear out the high day, it fades like 90% of the time. Just a little golden nugget there.
Yeah, this is something that we'll talk a little bit more about in open discussion. This is a change of our process, or part of it. In addition to it is the high day clear out. It's pretty detailed. It's not a beginner level strategy where it requires tape and whatnot, and we are just learning it ourselves. But I should have been shorting here essentially, or right here or right here. Yeah. But we'll talk about that later. So IFRX, this one was clean. I had like you can call it a death candle, drop at the open, shorted the bounce to intraday VWAP, and just covered fast, nail and bail. This is oh yeah, this was the extended picture of that. IO, this was just a really quick kind of channel trade. You can see I was playing off of this level. I was willing to scale up here to high day, just took it off at VWAP because I was scared it was going to create a higher low. That's the same, yeah, same chart there. This one, okay, this was another tilted day. I did not sleep the night before, and that is all over this chart. Right here, I fat fingered it. I don't even remember. I like shorted, and then I accidentally covered it, and then I did something. I can't even remember. And then I fat fingered again for the second time. You can kind of see it here. I fat fingered twice on the same chart. Later that day, I was driving to work and I missed my turn like 5 times. So it was weird. And I knew I shouldn't trade, but I did. So I deserved this one. So that was just tilted day. There's a couple more charts from that you'll see later. This one was a good day. This was actually a fantasy order. I completely forgot about it. Just a quick VWAP cover and then a little bit of a channel cover. I wanted more channel, but I had to go to work. That's the extended version. NXTP, this one was a really clean chart. You can see just pure process in this. Short VWAP, so cover, short at some support right here, and intraday VWAP, cover, just straight process. Oh, this one, I left work because I wanted a little bit lower, and I ended up covering it low a day, so long cover here. OCGN, this was, look at the date, October 18th, same date as my tilted day. Don't even ask me. I don't know what crap I was doing on this. I don't know why I popped out
Sam,
here.
This is a nice Swizzle entry right there.
Yeah.
An art of war type entry right there.
Yeah, when your chart looks good, if it was long, but you're a short seller, that's when you know you messed up. So yeah, don't even ask me about this day. I don't know. I ignored it. Moving on. Let's see here. This one was an interesting trade. I don't remember a lot about it. My stops were too tight on this, so this one was just kind of a messy trade. Oh, okay, October 18th. Okay, so this was the same day. I was just out of my mind, y'all. I don't know why I was trading these days. But the thing is, you can see it in the charts. The charts on these days, like October 18th and the 22nd, are so filled with emotion. Like what?
That was also Monday.
Yeah. I was up late Sunday. So it's like, what even is this chart? Filled with emotion. This one was fun. This one was a break-even trade. It was just kind of like blah. It was a weird day for me. Okay, this one hurt my heart. Xander, I don't know if you showed this chart on yours. Xander caught a little bit more of this. This was an offering that happened right before open. None of us really knew about it. And then it just happened. I covered here. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys because I had to pee really bad. I wanted to pee before the market opened. So I literally was like, let me just take off the cover. And then...
Hey, we thought it was going to pop for a better entry. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted it to pop.
Yeah, I was expecting it to pop it open. So that was hard.
That's why a laptop sometimes better than the desktop.
Yeah, for sure. So this is, you can see process in these. Think about my emotional days. There was no process. Then you come into charts where there's just straight process.
And guys, look, this is where I was shorting that first spike and I got stopped out. So this is an example of like, being patient for the best entries. You could use smaller size and you'll get way bigger gains just being patient with, the best entries.
This right here, this is a panic dip buy flipped upside down.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. You can see, like I said, I usually have room to go, but just nail and bail with it. So this one, Prague, beautiful chart. Channel trade, this was first day of October. So just a really beautiful chart. I might have already gone over this one, so I'm not going to dwell on it. This one, I should have added here. It missed my order at VWAP. So I got an entry here, covered here. I just played it as if I got my order because I wasn't going to get tilted. But
make a note that now we have our orders out, but if it's like close and it's not hitting, we just slam. That's the new adjustment we made.
Yeah, so this is the second half or the first half of October. So these are like some older trades we've heard from.
I was always thinking about that, like, because I remember before you had like, oh, it didn't hit by 1 cent.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, and I was like just, I mean, sometimes it also happens with me, but yours is like more like a robotic, and that's why
it's different.
Yeah. So we're getting a little bit better with that. This day was this was the last day of October. I'm happy with this trading. I took a win here right at the open, obviously playing off the lines. Once it tanked, I thought this was going to be a VWAP rejection. So I shorted here, shorted back at outer lines, stopped out once it broke high a day. This third trade on it was not needed in hindsight because it was creating a little bit of trend here. I should have acknowledged that and how close it was holding up to VWAP. This trade just was not needed, but there was a thesis in it in the sense of shorting VWAP, shorting a little bit outer, and then I stopped out at a high day.
That stuff hurts.
Note high day clear out, right? Me and Xander are going to talk about this a little later. It pops out a little bit above high day, clears you out, and fades the rest of the day. So going on, this one was
nasty. That is so nasty.
This was pure process, man. I mean, nothing but it was just short VWAP, cover on the wash, walk away green. One of my favorite charts that I have, just pure process. So this one I got stopped out. This is a chart that I've learned from. 550 whole dollar, half dollar. It was also some resistance. So I should have been willing to scale to this one. When you're shorting VWAP and there's a resistance line that is close enough, you need to play both. So this one was a lesson learned on this. Stopped out when I shouldn't have. So that was my October. Really fast. I will just, November has been good to me. So far, I am completely green on it. Yes, APDN, VWAP rejection, cover. I should have got an ad here, but I didn't. NXTD, cover or short into this resistance, was willing to go up higher, covered fast. OCGN, this one I was trading another at the same time. So I could have added here, but I wasn't paying a lot of attention to it. I covered here because I wanted to get off some size because I wasn't giving it a lot of attention. And then I just covered down low. And then fun, this was, oh yeah, this was a really good one. This was
that is beautiful.
We went over that one already, right?
No, I had a different perfect fun trade. that was in October. This is in
such
November.
a fun trade.
Yeah, this was a fun trade.
Oh, I took that one too. Oh, that's the one I scaled like a lot on. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one, really happy with. I was watching volume, price action, and tape for this. I saw it, all of this. There was no hesitation. It was just step. And then once it got to like the 472, 474 area, it would go up to the price, come back down, go up to the price, come back down, right? So it's doing this, and it hadn't stalled like that before. So that's why I took the entry when I saw it stalling, and it hadn't done that before. And then it immediately rejected. I took off some at this red to green / VWAP because that's just really strong resistance. And then I left it for a little bit of a fade. What Xander did, and I wanted to do, was add here at this bounce, but I just wasn't fast enough. But other than that, I was really happy with this chart. So yes, that was a little while, but I get excited once I start looking at my charts. But yeah, so really happy with everything. And we'll go over kind of the process that's changed. But so far in November, I'm completely green. And in October, I had like only 4 red days out of the entire month. And the red days were like average green days. So it was really good. Yeah.
Super clean. Love it. Amazing.
Nice.
Woo.
Yes, I guess it's my turn.
Breath after that one.
Okay. So I'll mostly go over just over the plays of this week where there were like good trades. Not trades, just the one that I missed. So this one, this wasn't okay. This is my only trade. So I talked about this very detailedly in the last episode. I think the one that we did with Lance, that I had my trade on this day, like my trade that So
of course,
after this happened, like I sold. Yeah, let's go here. So this is interesting. I think I said that, but because I said that I should have held, but so I had my trade here. I won't show all the notes. So I had entry here and I sold here. And then this day I sold because this was the last day of October and I was down on the month. So I wanted to just start fresh and also so that it covered my losses and I would be green. So it's not just about the money, but because I don't want it to count toward the other month because the same thing with my TLSS trade. So I wanted to start in November fresh, but technically point standpoint, I should have held overnight because it was like a perfect breakout. And so we see the next day it gapped up and had another big move and even more. So at that time I was comparing it with others because for me these charts looked very similar, like on the and I compared it with this action here. So because see we had the first breakout here and then the all-time breakout. So same thing here. You have the first breakout here and then all-time breakout and then this consolidation here. So I expected this to have a little consolidation and then the next big breakout. So that's where I have my trade. But the thing is that I was looking for a trigger in the morning and it had it right here. Right here. See this 383.
Yeah.
I was watching that and then in a second it went to 385 and then in another second see this gap in the chart. That's a 1 minute chart. It had a gap on that 1 minute chart. just there was no chance to enter, like because I don't know how, maybe just in advance if you just entered before the trigger, but you know I don't do that, so I completely missed that. I was so pissed at that moment because I was ready to like use my like full size thing, so that was very annoying. And I had a lot of conviction in this, even though the day before I asked Dom about this and he didn't like it, but I was like, I don't care because that's my setup and I know it. This stock, I know the personality of the stock. And I remember that day someone in the chat said like moving, and then I said, I wonder why. And then Dom said, did you get any? I'm like, no, I missed the entry. So, and then after they had this nice wedge, so here I use very small size. I just wanted to take part in this. It wasn't like a FOMO because that was a small position. I just wanted to like try different type of entry on this, and I was risking here, yeah, because I had a lot of conviction. I really thought it's gonna break and spike to like 5. That's what my price target 5. So I entered here, and then it was really nice. It was like the level 2 was so nice. It moved to like, see, it moved to a 412, and then yeah, and then it just broke my risk. And my risk was 402. Maybe it should have been 4 because of a round number, but I don't care because this was like it looks like if it breaks this, it's gonna drop right away here.
Yeah,
The way it spiked here, look, the way it spiked, yeah. So I just played it safe, and then it actually didn't work. But I mean, I still believe in this because it's gonna take time. So we'll see. This was my only trade. I lost $11.
Fair.
And now, yeah, now my missed trades. So this was number one. This yeah, so the first thing is it's not perfect because of the daily chart. It's like in the lows. So I like the ones that mirror 52-week high, you know. And so this was on this day here. So I was watching for a breakout. So before was on this day, I put it on my watch as a breakout, but I wanted more consolidation. You know, they have first move and then like 2-3 days of consolidation, not just one. So that's why it wasn't like perfect. Let's see my notes here. I have breakout here. So you see this had first move, then just 1 day of consolidation. That's all. But I wanted more, so it has more conviction because the daily wasn't perfect. So, but yeah, that was I think the only reason why I missed this. It had like a nice trigger here, but it was happening, I think 11. So that's the time when midday starts for me. For me, the entry is from 9:30 to 11. But of course, it's not the exact science. So yeah, I missed this. I think I saw that perfect, but I wasn't even trying to play it. I mean, of course, now you can see and say in hindsight, you should have played it, but I don't know, for me, it wasn't perfect. So even after all this happened, I wasn't like very pissed as I was on the previous one because it wasn't ideal. And yeah, the risk reward obviously is great here, but yeah, you shouldn't I'm not expecting this kind of move in this market. But right now, because we're going into the December, I can't see this. I can't see this like breaking this, because it topped right here. See, right here. So I can expect
It'll be a nice breakout.
So right now, yeah, it is on my watch for the next breakout here. So if it consolidates for like 3 more days, maybe even 2, can have the next breakout here and then over these levels, and then maybe come here.
Yeah.
So next one is the one that Sam traded. So this was on, oh wait, yeah. So this has the first green day, but I wasn't really watching that day. I mean, I was obviously watching, but that's not that's not my best pattern because it's just first green day out of nowhere. So I like to have first green day and then set up later. So it did that, but you see it's still again in the low, so not perfect again. So we had this first green day, then yeah, wait, 15 minutes? Yeah, and then 2 days of consolidation, and then this day it had the move. It didn't have a trigger, fortunately, but it was still pretty clean here. Yeah. So this is how I wanted to play it. I see this range forming here between 265 and 255. So I wanted to enter here. I just missed fill because the trigger was at 263 at some moment. So at some moment, ask at 263 was broken, but it wasn't moving, like nothing happening. I was like, because usually when the trigger breaks, it starts spiking immediately. So it was kind of confusing for me, and I just froze at the moment, and then it just spiked. And my limit was, I think, 64. Yeah, I should have put a 65. Yeah, so I missed this, and then I know for a fact I would have held through all this, and then I would have probably, you see, I saw potential sell 1/3, and then swing the rest, or just swing all because I usually sell. My first sell is at 4R, but it obviously depends. So here I probably would have sold here into the high day push, and then just swung the rest because I mean I like although it's not the perfect chart, but it can have a spike and also gap because it's a Friday and Monday gaps on the breakouts are better. I mean this wasn't, I think, A setup. Yeah, this was A setup. Well, Sam is gonna say how he traded. Yeah, once. Okay, this so this is I think this was the best one, the best of this week. This one I'm so mad about this. This is like after that day, after Friday, I think like in my daily journal, I wrote like a huge paragraph about it. I was just watching it. I was doing English homework, and on my other screen I had that chart. Just so it like looks at me like you missed me. So I was so mad. Like you see this, you see like also downtrade, but it had like a huge move here, like from 8 cents to almost 30 cents to 30 cents. And then it had, so this is perfect. You have first move, 3 Reddits, and then number 5 bounce. So the day before I had it on my watch list for first green day, right? And I don't know why, but I mean I know why, because in the morning it was weak, and it was red on the day, and I've never traded a stock that was red on the day, or even like a little slightly green. So that's why it confused me. Some traders entered here at 17 on this, like not even a trigger, but just here, because it was a perfect potential first green day. So let me show the notes. Yeah, this was just perfect. Right here, midday, it had a trigger at 167. Just look at this clean trigger here. Like look,
Wow.
right where the VWAP is also. And
Wow.
the risk, so the risk wasn't low day. Maybe it was for someone, but for me, it would have been the low day consolidation because that's how we place results. So I watched on demand this, and it was possible to enter at 167. It was easy. The worst entry could have had at 75. The worst entry because I saw how the level to move. It wasn't super quick. So yeah, this was the first prime entry. This was the second one. This was either add if you didn't get full size or just start here. But obviously the risk reward would be worse. But I mean, if 9 is good for you, is bad for you, then
if 9R is bad for you, then quit.
So yeah, this is one of my friends. He entered here at 17 and he held rolls because his risk, I guess, was low day. So yeah, his risk wasn't like so it was similar to, so it was the second, yeah, 5, 7, 9. So yeah, but this was the perfect one. I completely missed it. I wasn't even watching. And the thing is, after this happened, I think I saw it, but then I was like, oh, whatever. I don't know why. This is, I can't even explain. Like, you know how Sam talked about his trades? Well, he kind of explained something here. I was like, I can't even explain because there was nothing moving. I think I was watching Iris for some reason because I was, what day? Oh yeah, that was the day when I had the bootcamp with Dom and Hari, and I think Hari entered here. Yeah, he entered here at 17 to 25 something on the dip. So yeah, this is just perfect. But the way I would have played it is sell here half well, not half third, because it's 4-5R. And then I think I would have sold everything here because it's first green day. It's not breakout to hold overnight. So yeah, the 25R is ridiculous. And this was possible, you know, it is possible. The position size I could have used the 25 risk is I don't even want to think about it. So yeah, this and also I print all the charts, but this one I'll print tomorrow because I want to have the second day on it too. We'll see how it goes. But obviously I would have sold. I don't think I would have. Why would you sell if you have 10R? I mean, yeah, Taylor says I had like 10R and I held, but that's a different situation. So yeah, and last one is, this is I would say this is Dom has crash on the stock.
Yeah.
This is his best because he made all his money on this one. Oh, he only chose this one. This is beautiful. So yeah, during all this time I drew this trend line, and then he had the gap up above it and I failed. I was like, okay, maybe it's gonna take more time. So we'll see. This is the one that happened, right? Third. We'll go here. Third. Where's third? Here. Okay. Yeah. This day. Also, yeah, I was gonna say when I think Dom said he was entering in this range somewhere here on the bottom of the range somewhere here, and I asked him. I was like, because because he has a big account, he can afford entries with less confirmation because he knows if it works, it works. Like if a nail, he will nail. You know, it's gonna be a huge trade. So he's ready to take like little paper cuts, but that's not what I can afford. So I'm just gonna wait for the confirmation entries. And for me, the first confirmation entry was not even confirmation, just good entry was here on this day. Had like a little trigger here. Look, of course I saw it only after because that day I wasn't watching. I wasn't watching that. So I mean, you can see that this is my type of price action here. So I would have let's see now. Yeah. So this is the first trigger. I mean, yeah, these risks are very tight. The way Dom plays, he has a wide risk. Like he uses risk based on the daily chart. So his risk here was like, I think the previous low day. Yeah, so he had like big risk. But for me, I would have had this risk, enter somewhere here or here on the second trigger. I mean, I didn't even count risk reward, but the risk reward from if you had an entry here and then you held, and I did, I would have done this 100%. Right here is 36, right?
Wow.
Oh, obviously, no. I'm not saying I would have failed through this, but somewhere here it's like 20, 100%, because it's not even, and the thing is it's not even a breakout yet. You see? I mean, yeah, it broke, but by 1 cent.
Yeah.
It's not even break. You make 20R without breakout. So yeah.
That's crazy.
So yeah, this is how I would have played. I would have entered in the morning. And this was the second entry. So Dom entered here also, he added here. And then he said like, for me, the entry would have been this. This is the best confirmation. Probably like to see the spike end of the day into the close. It's perfect for the gap up the next day. It's just perfect. And then you have the risk on because his risks are usually wide, but I think for me, I would have used this level as a risk. This level here. 39.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like it.
Entry at like 47 or 41. And then here C was a week, but still you just hold. You see I wrote Dom's, so on this day his risk was this. Imagine it wasn't in 44s, but he was risking 37 still. So yeah, that's his style. But right now he had like this panic, so I don't know, but it still may have the next chance on the next week.
Is Dom still in?
Yeah, of course he is in.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Of course, I remember that was his comment, but someone in his chat said anything under $1 is a discount. So yeah, this is also my main watch for the next week, and I think that's all. So yeah, I lost $11, but what I could have made if I followed my process, that would have been like 10 times that at least. I don't know, because all the setups right there, you just have to play them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
beautiful.
And I'll say one thing because we talk about sizing up later, but I'll just say that so I'm missing all of them, right? I'm missing them, but I'm saying that right now I'm in a position when once I'm in a trade, I know exactly what to do. Like I know how to, because I had a lot of mistakes before, but now I know that like setting right risk, following the risk, I know when to start selling, like scaling out. And I most of the time I recognize the setups, like the big picture, I recognize that, but I just keep failing at the moment where you need to enter, you know, the moment when the bid moves, all that. Like I know what the right entry is, but at the moment, that few seconds that you need to decide, I just hesitate at the moment. I guess it's just a time thing. Like I talked with them and Hari about that. I just need like more experience playing these breakouts because there are not that many of them. So I need to have more trades so I know I can trust myself. Even though my stats show that I can trust myself and everyone says about, I just want to have more samples to like be confident in myself, you know, like, yeah. I just have to care more about, I have to care about this, the stock and the pattern itself rather than having, you know, like a good entry, with less risk, all that. I don't know, maybe and also I remember I was telling myself that I have to sometimes chase, but chase meaning like 1%, because I don't let myself chase at all. Like if the stock moves above my entry, I'm done. Like I can't even chase it. Like I can't even click, because the moment I know that I chase, that means my risk is big. But every time I enter, I have my risk calculator, and I have like every cent calculated on my risk, and I know if I move my entry above, then I don't know my risk. So that's like it's getting weird. So that's why I have to like in advance put my limit above and be ready to have a big risk. And then if you get a better entry, then it's even better.
Yeah.
So yeah, well that was it for next week. That I'll change that. Yeah, definitely. Well, I'll talk about it later. How we're gonna change.
Awesome.
Good job.
I think I know I can relate to, even though your stats prove it, still so hard to
Yes.
like it's just mental, bro. It's weird, man.
It's like, okay, we'll talk about it because I have
something. Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Awesome.
All
right, so I'm gonna go over my last 5 trades. I'm pretty sure the last time I went over trades was last time I was on episode
July.
I had an $873 red day.
No, that was before.
That was.
Mm-hmm. That was
okay.
That was right before.
Way, the goal since then was to not do that again, and we've succeeded in that goal, which is nice. All right, can y'all see my screen?
Yep.
All right, so this was trade 105. I saw this one had news pre-market. It did, and right out of the gates, bidder stepped up, so I just slammed the ask. Got in at 0.0066 and took profits absolutely way too quick, but they were 40%, so I couldn't really turn them down. And then I was very, very quickly disappointed that I had fat fingered, and instead of going in with $600, I went in with a whopping $60.
Wait, I guess it's not called fat fingered. It's called thin fingered. Thin fingered. It's not fat fingered.
Well, yeah. So that made this 40% gain turn into a $26 profit on a $60 investment. So that kind of stung, not gonna lie. And then I saw in challenge chat, Mark Crook, he dip bought this, and then he was just risking the bottom of this channel here and the whole number 0.01.
Damn.
And it just had another huge run. So I probably should have, like, it was such good risk reward. I don't even know what risk reward this is, but it doubled, and he was risking like basically his entry. So I need to look for this little pattern more. This was trade 2 of 5. I have absolutely no idea what I was doing. I'm pretty sure I saw a pumper on Twitter say this was going to the moon, so I went in with it with like $100. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So anyway, but I cut it quick. It was a $3 loss, so all is well in the trading account.
But yeah, that's kind of embarrassing. I'll be honest. So this was trade 3 of 5. This is Phil. I got pretty mad because my crappy satellite internet went out right at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, and I did not get to see CPHIL right out of the gates. But I still bought it as it was spiking and took a quick 10% on it. This one was kind of disappointing and just faded the rest of the day. And this is a former runner, so I halfway expected it to hold up when it did this little consolidation, little wedge thing. But volume just dried up and it faded off. So that was a letdown, but I took my 10% on that.
Nice.
This one was not great. First of all, I missed the whole easy run up. Like this is really pretty in my eyes. And I was at school, so I didn't get to see that. And then it came back down.
We
and
talked about that.
there's-
Remember? There was no way to find it.
Yeah, it was like it came out of nowhere. I can't remember.
It was
Did it have
random
news,
today.
Alex?
Huh?
Did it have news? I don't even know why it
No,
spiked.
no, it didn't have news. It was red on the day, and it was down in the gutter
Yeah.
of the chart. So this is impossible to
Yeah.
enter.
Yeah, I have no idea where this came from. Probably pump. But then I saw it's kind of like a bull wedge. I don't know. I just put a little entry in here, added to it, and then level 2 got really weak, and I got out of there. That was kind of a bad trade. Got lucky there. And then afternoon, it broke out of this consolidation and then just dumped again. So this was not, I mean, like looking at this whole 3-hour window, I shouldn't have even entered this because there's hardly any meat on the bone here. It's just consolidation. And then this was when it broke out. This was a multi-day breakout right at like 2.7, 2.65 area. Same pattern here, kind of just consolidating. Good risk reward on 2.55. So I got 2 starter entries, I guess you'd call them, here at 2.6. And then it broke out of the channel. Didn't get filled in here at 2.65. Chased it, but it was still at the breakout level, so it's not a terrible chase. And got in like a quarter more size, half my full size. Here at 2.7. Really bad ad here because it dipped hard and I could have got such a better average, but I did not see that coming. And then it did this really weak, choppy grind, broke out again. I took off some because I didn't like it. And then it hard cracks down 2.65. Bounced back, took some more off, and then it came back down to 2.65. And at this point, that's what I was risking, is if this level broke. And so I added I'm not really sure why I added, but I added. And it came back down again. And this is really, really a bad exit because it never broke my risk.
Yeah.
I was pretty mad after this because like it got down and I looked at level 2 and I'm like, oh, it's gonna crack here and it's just gonna bust down to 2.5s. And I was like, okay, let me just get out. And it never even it hardly even tested the support level. And I got out and it just faked me out really hard and closed in the 2.9s. This would be a pretty good trade because I got a good entry, got a decent ad, took a little bit of profits at these 2 double tops, got an ad down at the bottom of the range again, and just this one exit ruins the whole trade. So this coming week, I'm gonna have to focus on that to follow my plan, and don't exit whenever it's consolidating. That's basically it, because it never broke my risk. So anyway, that's my last 5 trades.
Bro, your charts are so much cleaner than they were before. Like there's way more process and way more
On
like
the month.
way more process.
Last month was kind of slow. Yeah. But it's pretty consistent. I'm trading a little bit smaller. 66% win rate, 174 on the month. I'll take that. This month it's still kind of slow, still trading small. But anyway, that kind of sums up my trading.
Nice. Awesome.
That's really good.
Very nice.
so much better than we've seen before.
Definitely. Yeah.
Less emotion, except for the one time you were following a pumper, but other than that, you're good.
Yeah. No more following pumpers on Twitter. It hardly ever works, guys. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do that.
I
Yeah.
don't think everyone even thought about it.
And
Not you guys, the viewers.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
Still-
That's good advice. All right, Sam, is that all you got?
Yeah, that sums it up for me.
All right, awesome. I'm gonna be really quick. I'm gonna be 5 minutes max. I know we're all itching to go into open discussion here, so let me click share. Okay, so this is ABVC. Let me go to the daily chart first. Let's see, my stuff's loading pretty slowly. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, so this was a huge gap up on this day. A lot of volume compared to days in the past. Wasn't really having a breakout or anything, but the volume alone, crap. It'll kill me forever every single time I do this. Dang it, man. Okay, anyways. All right, so this was on Monday. We had this massive free market spike here, like just crazy, literally from $3 to $26. So I was like, okay, the range on this thing is freaking crazy. Honestly, if I were to take this trade again, I wouldn't trade it again because I don't like how long this was under VWAP in the end of free market. And when these super like low float fast runners, when they open under VWAP, that automatically makes my setup like half as likely to work. So yeah, the fact that this broke down here and just stayed under VWAP, that made it a very less ideal. If this had held up above VWAP up here in the 10s and the 11s, then I got the spike and it came under, I definitely would have been exiting this in the 12 and the 13. But given the fact that it had just a little bit of consolidation under VWAP, it had this spike, and then it started setting higher lows. I drew my trend line. I entered here right at 891, scaled out half here in the 920, scaled out the other half here in the 940s. And yeah, so this was just a super quick trade. I traded this price action that I got as well as I could. And this was actually interesting because I had to keep redrawing my trend line here because these candles were just super choppy and I kept redrawing. But then I finally got it. So yeah, like I said, half off here, half off here. Started the week off well. This was on Monday. It was like a 1.7 R on this trade. So not too bad. I was ready for it. I knew exactly what I needed to see. And then as you can see, it just faded throughout the whole rest of the day. This was a mighty good looking short right here. After it breaks a low today, short this pop and let it fade for the rest of the day. So anyways, that's besides the point. I traded exactly what I needed to see on this. And yeah, like I said, I just had a few parameters that I need to, brush up on. And as I said, as the week went on, it got worse and worse. Yeah, I'm going to go on something on Friday. And as Sam and Alex were both saying that sometimes they had no idea what they were doing or why they were doing it. Friday was definitely one of those days. I don't know why. I felt good going into the trading day. And then all of a sudden the market opens and I literally shit myself. Not literally, but you know what I mean. Anyways, I let the thought of the first green day on BKKT get in my head way too much. And it was just, anyways, let me just go through this. This was a perfect trend line here. It held here, this resistance, this resistance, this resistance, this resistance, and this resistance. And what I did here is I literally jumped the gun and entered too early. It has been so long where I have impulsively just jumped in too early and not waited for the correct confirmation. I shouldn't have traded this at all. I don't care about this. I don't care about this wonky recovery after it was freaking multiple dollars a share under VWAP. Like this is never supposed to happen. But I literally I jumped the gun. I entered too early. I know that if I'm not in the money at least a little bit right away, that I screwed up. And yeah, it's funny because as soon as I clicked buy, I was like, shit, I just screwed that up so bad. So it ended up just dying right here. I had my risk below here, breaking these two previous little support levels. I got out. As you can see, it ran up a little bit, but this is not what phases me at all. What was terrible for me was I entered way too early. And yeah, that's something I won't be doing anymore. Just a few disciplinary mistakes that as the week went on got worse and worse. But I've got some new precautions I'm taking. I've got my sticky note with some of my top stuff on it. And honestly, the quality of my trades this week, I should have ended the week more red than I ended it. But I ended the week down a small amount, like under 1R. I was red $11 on the whole week. And given how I traded, it should have been probably 40 or 50. So I'm still, glad that I was able to manage my risk really, really well. I'd say that's what I have been best at, is managing my risk really well. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. I went back into some old ways of losing discipline, and after last week with DWAC and PHUN, the market started heating up a little bit. Yeah, I started finding a little bit of consistency, and then as the market started coming back to reality, I was it kind of put me back in my spot, and it made me. It's quick, man. It's really crazy how like 1 week, not even, can completely change the whole like state of your trading. And here's something that I'm going to do that's going to help me a lot. I thought about it today, and it's just going to help a ton. I'm going to ask myself, when I am planning a possible trade, I'm going to ask myself out loud, is this a trade that me a year from now would take? And if I can't answer yes right off the bat, if I can't say yes, a year from now, me and my future trading experience would take this, definitely, I'm not going to touch it, because that is just, I don't know how to explain it. It just makes a lot of sense for me. And being, very future oriented, as we all are, obviously not like obviously we're not like saying, I think this stock is going to do this. Obviously we're reacting and adapting, but all of us are really focused on like our future and all that stuff. But I could just imagine myself like asking myself, would I make this trade a year from today? And if I can't say yes right off the bat, then it's not worth trading at all. And I've been looking at a lot of charts this weekend. I know exactly what I need to see. Discipline is fully coming back. And yeah, I guess I'm sick of learning the same mistakes over and over again and saying that I learned them, but end up falling into them again. And, it became a recurring theme, a recurring process. But now I'm putting all those matters to bed, and there's no more. It's time to think like a professional, because this is a business. There's no more of this, cookie cutter little bullshit. And I've got something to add about, sizing up when Xander, Sam, and Alex talk about it later in the future. But that's all I got. I'm going to be super quick. We're going to get into open discussion because I know we're all itching to do that. So Alex, Xander, and Sam wanted to start off by talking about sizing up. So whichever you guys want to go first, go right ahead.
Go for it, Alex.
So this week, as I said, I had the accelerator bootcamp with Dom and Hari, and so first of all, I want to share my stat that I shared with them, because they had the thing before, but they didn't see my stats, and they only saw my biggest gain and biggest loss. My biggest gain is 160. My biggest loss is 230, but because that was in February and March, doesn't matter, because these trades are not the ones that I will take right now. Never. That loss was, I just bought the stock into the close because this was the first green day, and it just panicked. So I had no control. I would never do this right now. So I just want to show my stats, and that's why I want to size up. And okay, so this is stats since April 2021, because that's when I changed as a trader. Because after March, I was like, okay, I need to find something new, because the patterns that I was trading, panic devices, they stopped working. The breakouts, I wasn't playing them the correct way. I was just buying the breakout level. That's not how you should play them. So that's why it's reasonable to think about the stats like that, because one or two trades, they cannot define the whole thing, because this two trade, they literally would make all the stats look bad just because of two trades, just one trade, I mean. So you see, the profit and commission doesn't matter. What matters is average profit and average loss. Moreover, not the dollar, but the factor, the P&L factor. Yeah. So that means I'm getting 40 and losing 10. So that's perfect. That's 3.7. That's what a consistently profitable trader, they usually have it. So that's perfect. And see the average risk reward is 3. So that means my expected gain is 1 to 3. That's also great. So, and that makes up for the win rate of 41. So that means you're profitable. I'm profitable in the long run. You see, my biggest loss was only $24 all this time. My biggest loss, and the biggest gain was literally last week. So based on the stats, So yeah, let me stop sharing. So yeah, and Dom said the thing that Xander always told me. He said it seems like you should be confident in the trades you're taking. Xander always told me that because based on my stats, that's what I should do. Because you know, like, why would you hesitate if you know that your average win is going to be 3 times bigger than your loss? Even 4, I would say right now, even 5. So, what I told him is that my biggest struggle is trusting my setups and myself. And I think they said, and also I said, that's because of the time and the experience. But they still said it doesn't matter because the numbers look good. So based on all that, I'm like, okay, I need to start like going to the even when Dom looked at my stats, he said that if he was me, he would be risking $100. But I was like, okay, that's too much. So what I plan for the next week is the next trade that I take, next trade, it's gonna be full size, which is $20, not 25 because I sized down a little. It's gonna be $20. So I'm not gonna take this little trade and say, okay, I'm gonna use small size. No, next trade is gonna be 20. So it's gonna be perfect trade. The trade that I'll be ready to use $1,000 risk. You know, because every trade you take, you should be ready to know that when it says that, it's also the same trade. Like Lance said, the trade that you will take in a year from now. So and after one of those trades succeed, then I'm sizing up to $30, and then my S factor, which is a sizing up factor, is going to be $10. So if I have a good week, I size up to 40, then 50, and 60. And also I want to mention one thing is, so in February, I was hot. Let's say that I had like consistently 1 month, but then the next month I lost it all. The same thing was in September when I had that TLSS trade, and after that trade I felt like that like it clicked. I felt like the first aha moment. But then when October was slow, see, I didn't lose anything. I had another green month. So that shows how experience matters. And yeah, I can't be risking $25 all the time. It's impossible to grow a small account with $20 risk. Yeah. So yeah, my goal for the November is start taking these trades. I can't miss them. There's like I can't miss 1 out of the 5, but I can miss 4 out of 5. Like that's not acceptable because I have all the knowledge and even I have the experience. So yeah, my goal is to take them and use full size. I don't want to use the small size. Yeah, I'm gonna use every trade gonna be full size. I don't care because for every trade that I enter, I'm just gonna say I'm ready to lose the whatever that is right away. Like I'm not ready. I lost it already. I'm gonna say that I lost it already. It's gonna be a negative $25 the next trade I take right away, and then in the long run,
I was gonna say one thing Ricky Analog said. He's an awesome trader. You guys should all check him out. One thing he said was, why take a trade you can't take full size on?
Yes, like exactly.
Yeah, so like if it's a trade where you're like, oh, let me just go in a little, then it's not worth taking the trade. So
yeah,
that's a good
my comment about that is I only take this when I want to test something new. Like for example, my trade from last week, right? That entry, that's like a new type of entry.
Right.
I wouldn't just test it. That was just a test. But for the what do I want to say? What you say, yeah, like you have to take the same trade. Like it doesn't matter what Dom said. He said, so if your risk is $100, right? And then you say, okay, I'm gonna take small risk because this is not ideal. So then you're risking 50, and then if you make it, then your win is gonna be smaller than your average win, and it won't even matter. Like, what's the point of taking? You're just gonna lose mental capital, you know, because it's gonna be bad trade. You're gonna be wasting mental capital, and then the next trade is gonna be affected by that. So yeah, every trade is gonna be full size and the best setup. So that's it. And only that way I can size up by $10.
Yeah.
Yep. So me and Sam, Testament are also sizing up quite a bit actually, because we realized that it's time to take risk, and we've been holding back too long. And it's good that we've been holding back because before we were absolutely not profitable. At least now we have been seeing profitability and things have really clicked. Like we know how we need to be trading. Any loss is going to be either that 20% where we're wrong based on our like 80% win rate. But a lot of the time where we're wrong, it's because we weren't following the process.
Yeah.
So like overall for the past 3 months, my profit factor has been like 1.5 to 2.0. So I'm profitable. And I think as sizing up, I am going to be able to stay emotionally stable. And also, huge announcement, I'm getting over PT either this week or next week. So
Yes.
I'll have like a $27,000 account. So my ultimate goal is to size all the way up to risking 1% of the account.
Oh,
So $270 risk. Now I'm not gonna go like, oh, I'm not gonna go from $20 risk a trade to 270 the next day, but I am gonna start, like now my risk is $50 a trade. Like coming into next week, my risk is $50 to $70 a trade. And I'm not gonna be scaling as much because I like one of my setups, you scale probably 3 bullets. But like 70% of the time it rejects that first bullet. So I don't get my full size. But then when I get stopped out, it's all 3 on max size and then stopping out. So my average win with this kind of style is like 0.5 and my average loss is 1. So it's not very good. And just by sticking to full size on that first line, my risk reward is going to be a lot better with the win rate not taking too much of a hit. So this is just gonna be way more profitable. And if I get stopped out, I'll reattack the outer lines. And I could do this now that I'm over PT. So, I mean, yeah, it's time me and Sam size up.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
Yeah. It's been a really weird mental battle where, for me, money has never been really the issue. I was shitting my pants when I was going in a trade with 1 share. Okay. So for some, like, money was never an issue for me. It was just this weird mental thing that I had with going in a trade, with trading in general. And I honestly haven't completely conquered it. But the thing is that, like, what Alex was saying, like, when you look at your stats, it's like, what am I doing? I'll just show this really quick. Like, this is October and November. Like, why the fuck am I scared of sizing up? Like, like what?
Yeah,
so
I know.
What's going on here? And it's just all like mental. And like Xander said, like early October, sure, we were still kind of refining the process. Something clicked, but we were still kind of finding a groove. But it's like second half of October going into November, it's like when I enter the market and I look for a trade, there's no doubt. Like, I know what I'm looking for. I know what I'm not looking for. I know when I should enter and I know when I shouldn't enter, right? And, just 2 days ago, like Xander was saying, we had a talk with some friends and we kind of even had a breakthrough with some risk and reward where we're going to be able to get tighter risk on, on our trades and stuff. So it's been a long time coming in the sense of sizing up. We've always started, we were always small size from the beginning. Most people start and they blow up accounts. So we've always started off small to general. So us sizing up is like where most people start, right? But the thing is that sure, our beginning has been slower, but we've been refining our process, making these stupid mistakes, the trades where we go, why did I do that trade, right? We've been doing all that and losing $5 and $10 on it, right? Where other people are accounts and hitting max daily loss. So there has been some frustration where it's like a really slow start, but I think as we build momentum and we go into profitability, we're going to see a consistency that most traders don't because we've gotten all those kinks out of our process beforehand. And that's not to say that we're not going to continue to have issues, that we're not going to have patches of unprofitability, that we're not going to change as traders. All those things are going to happen and will always happen. But something Xander said, and I want to pull it up here really quick. What's crazy that I just realized is that no matter how much fine tuning we do, we will never trade perfectly. I'm watching the 6 or 7 fig trader recap from Mike's room, and I was telling you about on a particular trade he made was like 10K, but still messed up a lot and missed opportunity. So we can't let little mistakes get in our head. Try to improve on them for the next time. And that is so true because you're never going to be the perfect trader that you want to be. You're never not going to make mistakes. You're always going to have some emotion. You're always going to wish you held longer or wish you bought sooner. And so at some point, you just have to acknowledge that, hey, statistically, I am profitable, right? And I will continue to grow. But statistically, I am profitable. So I need to just grow some balls, right? And size into that and respond to it. And like Alex was saying, when we're trading small accounts, there's a limitation to what you can do and how you can grow until you just actually start putting some size in. So I don't regret the path that we've been on because it's led to us really refining a process, but it is due time for us to really start to step it up. So
Yeah, and I said that specifically referring to like since the beginning, but mainly like October and November. There have been like a good amount of trades where I've covered too soon, and I get like really emotional. I'm like, I should have played that better. I should have played that better. And I thought that was just because like, I'm a new trader. I'm like not that good. But then I watched this recap like from a 7-figure trader, and he's like the whole recap. He's like, oh, well, I should have shorted here and I should have covered. I should have been more patient. Like every single trader, no matter the skill level, you're always going to wish you did better in any way. So just focus on learning that lesson. Maybe on this type of setup, I need to be more patient, and then just focus on improving your next trade.
mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Same thing was with Kyle Williams when he did his monthly recap. He also said like I made the mistake here, mistake here.
Yeah. So then I want to touch on Lance, what you said earlier, where when you enter a trade, you want to ask yourself, me in a year, would I take this trade? And that's something Xander and I have actually had that conversation before, where it's like for us, it's because for me, it's because of hesitation, right? So it's like, would I take this trade in a year? Is this a good opportunity? Yes or no? And then I have to take it, right? And something that I realized is that the way that I'm trading now, I want to see the exact same charts. Like seriously,
definitely.
The charts that I've had in November are it's the trader that I want to be, right? Like it's maybe hold a little bit longer, but I'm top ticking, right? I'm managing risk, right? So it's like, I am obviously will be refined, but I am the trader that I want to be in a year, And so I just need to acknowledge that and go, okay, all right, this is it. Like it's time to go, right? And eventually you just get to that point.
That's crazy because I had never thought of it like that. Like seriously, I look at my charts this week and I'm like, I could see myself taking that exact trade in a year. So
10 times the size.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
10 times the size and recycling, like with the little additions on it, maybe little adjustments. But generally, that's how I want to trade. That honestly probably tells you that's when it's time to size up.
Yeah. Like look at this. What more do I want to do? Right?
I had also some
slam.
I also had some trades like that. Yeah. When I was like, what else?
Yeah, like what else is there? Like there's nothing to say. I can't take notes on this. I can't do shit. It's just like, okay, that's welcome to being a day trader, right? And that's something that's just like, welcome to be a day trader. You are
welcome to the rodeo, baby.
Welcome to the radio. Like it's time.
Rodeo. Let's rock, guys.
Like, and I had that confirmation with some people in MIC, some of the moderators on Saturday. They went over a couple of my charts, and Xander has the same chart, so this relates to the process. But it's like they're like, yeah, this is the chart. Like, there's nothing to say about it. Like, I would take this
chart.
Like, yeah, it's like I would take this trade. The moderators would take this trade. Everybody would take this trade. So it's like, fuck. Like, okay, let's do it, right? Like, bring it on.
It's kind of like it's one of like the masterpieces in an art museum. That's something that everybody looks at. And you're like, oh yeah, that's awesome. And you're like, damn, that's my chart.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Bro, that's a good idea. When I get a house in the future, I'm literally gonna have a room called like Trading Museum.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be like my first trade, my best trade,
Oh my god.
So instead of printing, I'll be
framing your room.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. I do want to say one thing that kind of like wraps everything together. Alex, I know you're sizing up. Sam and Xander, I know you guys are sizing up. Sam, I know you're about to size up too. But Xander, you were talking about how you were first like going to do $50 risk, and then as your account grows, as you go over PDT, it gets a little bit bigger. It's a little bit bigger. Sam, you're sizing up. Alex, you're sizing up. And I was thinking about something that I know we always say that we never care about the money, which is true. We don't. But we're not robotic. We can't like completely 100% get the thought out of our head. And the way like I see it, like I thought about it as if you're having $15 risk on a trade, that's like a nice like dinner, like just like your lunch or like your dinner. But if you risk $50 a trade, you're like, I better make sure all my shit is there. And when I'm ready, I'm ready. And it's like, because when sizing up, it makes it feel more real. I mean, I know we don't care about the money. We're trading small and all that stuff, but we can't completely avoid it. We're not robots. We're humans. And it's hard not to have that come into the picture. But like, if you have $15 versus $50, obviously you can't trade differently. You should still trade the same, but it's just, there's an area in your brain that's like, okay, all my criteria is here for that $50, where you could just be like, sometimes you might just say,
Yes.
oh yeah, this is only $15.
Exactly.
I paid more for my dinner. I'll just let it go. And that's where it can be some rest of discipline. So that's where, sizing up definitely comes into play too.
Yeah.
With bigger size comes bigger responsibility.
True. That's very true.
Yeah. Something I want to add to that. It's something we've kind of discovered, and Xander and I have talked about this, is we've revealed that there is such a thing as being too disciplined in your trading, where you are too obsessed with risk. You are too obsessed with being perfect, where trading is not a science, it's an art, right? And the reality is that, yes, we have not focused on the P&L, and we have really been working on our process. And ultimately, if you trade the process and your charts look it, the P&L will follow. But we do need to acknowledge that, why are we day traders? It's a job, it's a job, and we are here to make money. The bottom line is the bottom line, right? So at some point, as we prove through our stats that we are able to, hey, this is a job. It is, we show up to the market, we make money, right? So don't be so disciplined that when it's time, you don't go, all right, time to make some money, right? Because that is what this is all about. So yeah.
Think about Amazon when they were first like a company, like when did they decide to scale up? You have to think of that, like, I mean, that's kind of like an analogy you could think of, like, when is, like, think of it as a business, when's the time we, expand? Are we ready to expand?
And they could have stayed a garage company forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. So like Lance said, I'm going to be sizing up. I'm going to pull up some stats here real quick. So I looked at Trader Review. Also, like Sam said, we're looking at these stats. Why am I not sizing up? These are stats since summertime in August, and I had a dumb trade here. Hopefully, it wasn't just following another Twitter pumper. I think it's just lack of discipline. But
No, that wasn't Twitter pump.
Pullback, it
wasn't Twitter pump.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Like I remember it from memory.
Well, like it's an uptrend. This is consistent for months.
Bro, that's clean.
So
Sam,
yeah, that is.
so
wait, Sam.
Thank
I'm not gonna pause this, but click on 60 days.
The anticipation is real.
oh my.
No, but look,
That's still
like,
a huge change.
That's
That's
like
a
a
huge
comeback
change.
right
No,
there.
I'm not saying that. I'm just curious to. Yeah, pull down a little. Wait, I can't see it. It's loading.
There you go.
Oh no, 60, not 30.
I'm
trying to
trying
see
to clear
how-
this out.
Just click clear. Just click the
Because this
clear
was
button.
Yeah, it says clear.
Click clear. And then
Oh,
it'll
that's why it was showing like that. Okay, I see.
okay.
But yeah, Sam, your wins have been a lot bigger than your losses lately. Keep that up.
Yeah,
for sure.
60 days.
and then click 6.
I just want to see how the.
Oh, that's 60 days? Oh, dang.
No, it's not. It's like 60 trades. Well, I want to see how the big loss affects that. It's not on the,
Yeah,
but it's not
sure.
on the thing.
But
Yeah, it's like good. It's exactly like mine after March. I mean. But
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
on the left side
But-
there's no that, like on the left side on the left yeah, here it says 60 P&L. Where's that? That's kind of weird.
yeah,
There's no 800 loss. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Because on the chart.
Oh yeah, the 800 loss.
On the line chart there is one I see.
Yeah.
but on the gross average trade panel, there's no.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what the? Oh, that's interesting. I didn't see that.
But
I was like, I didn't know what you were talking about at first. And I'm like, oh, now I get it.
yeah. What? Okay. Well.
All right.
the
Anyway,
800 it's
I
the
mean, that-
$873 day is on here somewhere. I'm pretty sure it was earlier in the summer.
yeah, it is after.
Yeah,
right
we
now.
see it
but
on the
anyway.
chart.
It's
Yeah, it's
after
I'm gonna
that.
be sizing up.
Okay. Anyways.
yeah. Anyway, all right. Back to 30 days.
Yeah, that doesn't matter,
Yeah.
Sam. What matters
Yeah,
now is that your wins
yeah.
are way bigger than your losses.
I just wanted to
Keep
see
up.
that. Yeah, I just want to see how it reacts on the chart.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the 30-day, and then
And-
back to what you were saying.
Yeah. Back to 30-day. Take on 3. No.
Yeah.
3-0.
So I'm on normal trades. I'm gonna do like I've been doing $25 risk, moving that up to 30 or 35, and on like a A+ setup, I'm very familiar with, and my statistics show I'm doing very well on, such as OTC morning spikes. Like I win 87% of the time. Granted, this is only 16 results, but I've only traded it 16 times. Like I've only seen this pattern
Yeah.
16 different days. But I mean, average percent gain 13%, average percent loss 0.5%. Like I can't argue with these stats. Why would I not size up on this?
Yeah.
So with these, I'm gonna do more than likely $100 risk, and then my normal breakouts, multi-day breakouts, where I'm trying to give them time. I'm not gonna risk $100 because I don't want to freak out. And like on RGBP, I already let my trade go before it even broke my wrist. Why would I size up on that? Because if I can't handle losing $25, how would I handle 100? So on those trades where it's breaking out and it's grinding away and I gotta give it time, then I'll risk 30, 35, $40. But on these quick ones where I'm doing pretty good, I'm gonna size up on those a lot. So that's my plan for next week and rest of November. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Love it. I did want to say one more thing, Sam, about you said about not being super, super disciplined. And like, obviously we're being super disciplined, but I know I've done this. I know all of us have done this. It's so important to have a balance of your discipline and your risk management and having a big picture outlook in your head and put those together. Because if you're more big picture, less risk management, that's how you lose a lot and blow up your account. But if you're too risk averse and you don't see the big picture, you're going to hesitate. You're going to miss the trade and be like, why did I miss this perfect opportunity? That's why it's important to take both of those, the big picture and your risk management, put it together, put everything together. And that's when you truly start to see your consistency. So I just want to add that.
Yeah.
Balance is everything with trading, with life, with everything in between. There's a happy medium and a balance required, I think.
Of course.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Well, yeah, everyone tells me that, but I tell them rest in the end, not in the middle. That's what I told them.
Right.
Well,
Don't sleep when you're tired, sleep when you're done.
Yeah. Yep.
Love it.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of growth that's going to happen through November. I mean, no matter what happens, we're all going to grow incredibly through November. But I think that we are all very actively finding out about ourselves and who we are as traders and what that looks like in a way that we haven't before. And, you know, I mean, you viewers, you guys have been watching for, you know, good couple months now, and in the stages that we've gone through, I mean, I lost count of how many setups Xander went through, but you know, so you've seen us all and change as traders, but
He needs that hat.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, I need that hat.
Still on the table.
But yeah, I mean, I think that there's going to be a lot of consistency coming out of all of us heading into the end of this year, and it's exhilarating, man. I mean, I'm just like on the edge of my seat. Yeah,
it's so awesome. And yeah, like comparing us like 3 months ago, like we didn't have like a defined like process, but now looking at each and every one of you, I could see like exactly your playing style. Like we all developed our own niche of playing. So yeah, it's amazing.
Beautiful.
I think yeah, this episode was awesome.
I want to add the last sentence, so that when I had that talk with Hari, he said it's time to believe in something more than yourself. And I was like, that's real. Like that's actually real. Like it's time to just, because I always like I am very shy and I never think that I'm better than other people. But it's like it's time to think that I'm better than myself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Man in the mirror.
Yeah, you gotta have some confidence, some pride. Yep.
Love it.
Awesome.
Xander, take us out.
Great episode. This was the best episode by far. I'm saying it. Like I say it every time.
Every
But this
time
was
it's
the
like
best
my favorite
episode.
one.
Every time Xander is on, he says it.
It's been a while, so like from the last one to this one, like I recommend you all watch it where we were all on versus now. Like you'll see a huge difference in like the trading and just our mindsets. But yeah, this was the best episode. So if you guys did enjoy and learn something, which if you didn't, you probably weren't listening.
Yes.
Drop a like and subscribe and turn on post notifications because we upload every week. But yeah, with all that said, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Cheers.
Peace.
Bye.
Deuces.
See you later.
Well, okay. First, we're going to talk about how our weeks are going, and then we got to do the markets. Right? Hey. Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
It's fucking working. Crap.
And that's where Sam put the hole in his wall with his head.
I'm actually surprised I was able to do it.
Okay, I have a
They're
very
clueless, but it's
I have
fine.
a very quick story. I mean, it's long, but I'm not gonna say them. Okay, so yesterday when I was walking with my dog, you know, we have like our group of people like who come with dogs, right? And only one of them came. And then he was like saying something, and I said about college, and I said that it's useless for me. And then he said like, like, well, then what are you gonna do? And I was like, should I say that? So
Sorry, bro. It's so. It's
no, but I
hard,
said
man.
so. I just said stocks. That's all. I didn't say anything else. So first of all, I asked him, "Who are you? Like, what's your job?" He said, "Engineer." I was like, "Okay." Then when I said stocks, he became Warren Buffett.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, one of
no.
those guys.
Bro, no, that's not like he all the time we walked. He said, "Okay." So first he said that he started trading. Yeah, he is a trader. He started trading at 12 years old. Then he worked as a hedge fund, something like not the manager, as a floor trader in every street in New York.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Then when I said about OTCs, he thought about something else. But then he was like, oh, "Okay, I know." Then he said like, "You're not gonna make a lot of money." Then he said, there's no way you can trade the way you do in Nasdaq. I'm like, there's this like almost the same way, like the pattern's the same. Like no. And then I was like, okay, then so you're saying you're a trader, right? Then why are you engineer? He's like, because I made my money and left. I was like, why would you leave the best job in the? He's like, so I'm like, nothing makes sense. And then I was like, okay, so you're saying you're like your job is engineering, but yours trade like? I'm like, yeah. I mean, he said yeah. And I was like, okay, did you trade on Friday? He was like, I don't trade like you. And then he said this, look, he said, my trading volume isn't like, you cannot day trade with that volume. Oh my God.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I'm like, okay, so you're a billionaire, right? So your position like billion, so you cannot day trade in Nasdaq. When there's like what is the volume trading in like AMC in Tesla? Like the volume is like huge. There's what are you saying? It's so stupid.
Damn.
So dumb.
I'm curious though to see his portfolio. I want to know what
But he was like,
The nerve of some people, man.
but he wasn't random, you know. He like I know him, but I'm like, oh, bro, like,
Well, now you don't want to know him.
yeah.